Feeling lost in your career, but you just can't quit your job? You wake up, you go through the motions, and you think, is this really it? You want something more aligned, more fulfilling, but you also need stability. In this video, I'm going to walk you through 5 simple ways to start finding work you are actually meant to do without blowing up your life. We're going to walk through 5 powerful things I personally used when I felt completely lost in my career. These are not fluffy ideas, these are practical tools that help me move from confusion to clarity. By the end of this video, you'll have clear starting points you can explore immediately, even if you're busy, overwhelmed, or unsure of where to begin. Hey, I'm Levane. I worked in corporate finance for over 10 years, successful on paper, but on the edge of burnout, and I knew there had to be more. I teach stressed out corporate women how to build their confidence so they can pursue satisfying work. There was a point where I felt exactly where you might be feeling right now. On paper, I had a successful corporate career, but inside, it just wasn't lighting me up anymore. And what made it harder was the environment. It felt competitive, draining, and honestly, it didn't feel aligned. And as a result, my body paid a very heavy price. So I made a decision that felt terrifying in that moment. I left. And for about a year, I gave myself space to figure out what was next. I didn't rush the process, I didn't force it. And what I discovered during that time was that I wasn't lost. I was just disconnected from myself and from that space, from what honestly felt like the ashes of my corporate life. My coaching practice was born. So if you're in that in between space right now, you're not behind, you're in the middle of becoming. The first thing I did was go back, not forward, back. I did a deep self reflection exercise where I asked, what did I naturally love as a child? Because before the world told you who to be, you already were something. For me, I remembered I loved writing, I loved reading, creativity, and self expression, and even played teacher as a kid. And what I realized was that those weren't random interests, they were clues. Your natural inclinations are not accidents, they are breadcrumbs. The second thing I did was create space to actually hear myself. Because when you're stressed, your mind is loud, but your intuition is quiet. So I built a simple meditation practice, quiet space, no distractions, and I started with 5 minutes. And I started asking myself questions like, what do I need right now? What direction feels right for me? I didn't force the answers, I allowed them to come. I even created a small ritual, lighting a candle, sitting in stillness, letting guidance come through instead of chasing. Because clarity doesn't come from thinking, it comes from creating space. Are you stressed from being overworked and desperate to control high stress levels? This is exactly why I created my guide, Control Your Stress Using Your Human Design. This guide helps you understand how you are uniquely wired to handle stress. It's free, and you can grab the link to the PDF guide in the description below. Number 3, I discovered human design and used it as a tool for guidance, and I continue to do so. Human design became my decision making compass. Instead of asking, what should I do? I started asking, what is correct for me? For example, I stopped forcing decisions from my mind. I started trusting my human design strategy and authority, and I allowed clarity to unfold over time instead of chasing it. What was one of the biggest shifts for me? I stopped trying to control the timeline of my life. I'm in my late 50s, so please listen to what I'm about to say. It's very, very important. When you're in a discovery phase, you're not meant to have everything figured out. And that pressure to try and figure everything out comes from your mind, mental conditioning, not your human design strategy and authority. Another thing I did was a Lifeline exercise from the book Key Person of Influence, written by Daniel Priestley and Mike Reed. This one was really powerful. In this exercise, I wrote down everything as far back as I could remember, all that happened to me, personal and professional events on a timeline. Then I looked at my entire life and I asked, what skills have I consistently used over time? And what came up for me was communication, organization, problem solving, time management, listening, writing. These weren't random skills, they were patterns. And that's the key. Your future direction isn't hidden, it's repeated in your past. The fifth thing I did was take the Gallup Strengths Finder assessment when I purchased the book, Now Discover Your Strengths. And the assessment gave me language for things I already felt but couldn't articulate. According to the Gallup assessment, my top 5 strengths in order are learner, achiever, adaptability, intellect, and positivity. And what hit me was this: these are the themes through which I experience life. So instead of trying to become someone else, I leaned deeper into who I already was. Here's one simple thing you can do today: take 10 minutes and write down 5 things you loved doing as a child and 5 things people naturally come to you for help with. That's all. You're going to start seeing patterns immediately. And those patterns, that's your starting point. If you found this video helpful, please share what you learned with a friend. Listen, you don't need to burn your life down to find your next steps, baby. You just need to start listening to yourself again. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you in the next video.